Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you one of my favorite piano riffs. So I've done some videos before where I'll show you a riff, but it's specific to a chord, right? So if a band is building on like a one chord and you're building, and then you play that riff and that will transition you into the next part of the song, whether it's the chorus or the bridge or something like that. So this riff that I'm going to show you is nice because it can be played after any chord. And it can be played going into any chord. So it doesn't matter what the song is, it doesn't matter what key the song is in, you can really use this riff and apply it pretty much anywhere in the song. And the nice thing is the way you position your hands to play it, you can smoothly transition into any chord. So it's very simple. And the riff, it doesn't stand out too much either. So you can play it once or twice or even 3 times in a song without it sounding too busy or too kind of out of place. So that's the reason why it's one of my favorite riffs. So I'm going to show you what it is. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to do this in the key of C. So for a hand positioning, you're going to open up your hands and you're going to play the C like this. So instead of playing a typical C triad where it's C, E, G, you're going to open it up and you're going to play C, G, and you're going to play an octave C up top. So it's 1, 5, 1 if you're using the number system. Your left hand is going to play octave Cs on the bass. And so through this whole riff and all our chord changes, your both hands are just going to kind of live around this position. And the reason I love this position is because it makes it very easy to transition chords. With only moving 1 or 2 notes, you can literally play every chord on the major scale. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, but for now we're just going to keep our hand positioning like this. And so the riff, it goes like this. Like that. So if we just stay on the C chord, I'll play it a couple times through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that. And so these notes that you're hitting, it's 1, 5, 1, and then you walk down 7, 5, 1, and then your left hand, you hit the 5th of the chord that you're going into. So in that scenario, we just kept hitting a C chord. And so the 5th of a C is a G. And if you use the number system, you just count the major scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the note that you hit going into the C chord. And so we're using 16th notes to play that. And so if you count it, it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, like that. So it's right after the 3. It's 3 E and a 4 E and then you go into the chord. So you don't have to play into a C chord. I'll show you later how we can transition to different chords, but that's the rhythm that you do. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, like that. And so now what I want to do is play through this a couple times and we'll just keep hitting the C chord, but I want to set my tempo at 120 beats per minute and we'll just play through it a couple times and so you can follow along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, like that. And to say you wanted to transition to an F chord, then you would hit the 5th note of the F major scale. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be the note that you hit going into an F chord. If you want to transition into a G chord, you hit the 5th note of the G major scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going into a G. Or an A, you hit the 5th of an A. So basically, it's just the 5th note of the chord that you're going into. There's 2 exceptions, though. When you hit your 2 slash chords, which is your 1/3 and your 5/7, that's when your note on your left hand is going to change. So if you're in the key of C, a 1/3 would be a C chord over an E bass. And so you wouldn't hit the 5th note of the E, which would be a B, right? It just sounds awful. Because a slash chord, you're hitting a C chord with an E bass. And so what you're doing with the left hand is hitting that C, which is the chord you're playing in your right hand, and then you follow through with that bass note. And then the other slash chord is a 5/7. So it would be a G over a B. And then the 5th note, again, you don't play an F sharp, right? It just doesn't sound right. And so what you do is, because your right hand's hitting a G, the 5th note would now become your G. So you slide it up a half a step. So So that's the only exception, your 1/3 and your 5/7. And so for the left hand, you just work your way up that major scale by hitting the 5th note of whatever chord you're going into, except those 2 exceptions, which is your 1/3 and your 5/7. So if you're going to walk up the major scale, it would go like this. Let's walk down. And so if that's tricky for you to do with your left hand walking up and down, it's just going to take a little bit of practice. Try to spend 5 minutes a day just working your way up and down that major scale. And if there's any sticky points, so say you're, transitioning from the 1/3 to the 4, just kind of go back and forth until it becomes smooth, and then you can apply your right hand and go through the chord changes too. So it doesn't matter what chord you're coming out of, it doesn't matter what chord you're going into, it doesn't matter what song you're playing, you can use it to transition into any chord if you're using this 4th major scale chord progression. And I've talked about that in other videos, and I'll actually have a link below if you want to download the chart for free. You can download that and walk through it. But basically, it goes like this. So your 1 chord is played like this, your 2 minor, your 1/3, your 4, your 5, your 6 minor, your 5/7, and then you're back to your 1. And so if you want to transition to the 4 chord, you play the riff. And remember, with your left hand, you use the 5th going into that 4 chord. If you want to go to the 5, if you want to go to the 6 minor, if you want to go to the slash chords, remember the 1/3 and 5/7, that's where you don't play the 5th with your left hand. You bring it up a half step and play the chord that you're playing in the right hand. So that can be a little confusing. It just takes practice. It's your 1/3. And then your 5/7, like that. So again, it doesn't matter what chord you're going into, it's going to work. So now what I want to do is set my BPM to 120 again, and then let's walk up and down that 4th major scale progression, and then you can follow along with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, walk down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like that. And so now you know how to play this riff in the key of C. It's very easy to transition into any other key. So say you want to do it in the key of D. Again, here's your D triad, but we're not going to play it like that. Remember, it's 1, 5, 1, and then the riff, 1, 5, 1, 7, 5, 1, the 5th of the chord that you're going into. So you want to go to the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 minor, right? Say you want to play it in the key of G. So there's your G chord. If you want to transition to the 4, transition to the 5, or the 6 minor, or the 5/7, right? That's the 2 minor. If you want to do it in the key of E, same thing. There's your 4, here's your 5, here's your 6 minor, 5/7. If you want to do it in B, if you want to go to the 4, or the 5, the 6 minor, or the 5/7, back to the 1. So it doesn't matter what key you're doing it in, your hand position is always going to be open, it's going to be the same. And it's very easy to find because whatever key that you're playing it in, if you're going to do it in E, you know you're hitting 4 E notes, right? And then the 5th, that's your starting point. If you're going to do it in A, you're hitting 4 A notes and then your 5th. So it's a very easy way to find the key, and then from there, you can use that 4th major scale chord progression and transition into any other chords. So now that you know how to play that riff, I'm going to show you how I use it in context with 4 songs, and hopefully that will give you a better idea so that you can incorporate this riff into your own songs. So let's take a look.